compassionate, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah, and may His peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wherever you are, whatever time it may be where you are, we begin by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace and the blessings of Allah be upon all of you. And once again, thank you for joining us on Let's Talk About It on Thursdays, where we wish to talk about things that are important, of relevance, and say it like it is. I've been struggling with my weight for a long time. I've been trying to lose weight, and the beginning of the year, most common resolution is I want to get out of debts and I want to lose weight. Mine has always been consistently, I don't want to procrastinate, starting next week, inshallah. So that's how my New Year resolution goes every single time. Interestingly, they say that 80% of the people who make a New Year resolution, 80% of them are going to fail by the second Friday in February. Second Friday of February is known as Falling Friday or Failed Friday, because that's when most of us are going to lose that New Year resolution. Any case, we have a really important guest. Really looking forward to this. Somebody who can help us lose weight, get out of debts, be healthy, be wealthy, you name it. He is a man of many, many talents, mashallah wa tabarakallah. A good friend to be, inshallah, soon is my brother, Shaykh Uthman Khan, who has memorized the Quran. He is a financial analyst. He is a student of natural medicine. He has a holistic approach to the deen, to life. And most exciting about him, and I do have his permission to say this, Shaykh Uthman somehow managed to lose 250 pounds. Some of us are struggling with so many pounds. But just really, really looking forward to this. Shaykh Uthman, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for having me. It's nice on a Thursday night.
Of course, man. I am really looking forward to this. So we were supposed to have this show some time ago, but unfortunately what happened is, well, it was the elections and then we had the infamous insurrection that took place, and we just said, we need to have this at the beginning of the year because the tendency is that a good number of people want to have a New Year resolution to see, what their goals are and how they can meet them. So is it true that you lost 250 pounds?
Yeah, I did. 470, 370, 270, about 250-ish. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So
we stopped counting after I lost 250.
Okay, so tell it, Sheikh. Tell it like it is. What happened there?
I had diabetes, and
okay.
I had diabetes. Well, I just gained a lot of weight. All of this weight came to me during my teenage years. So if there's like some advice I had to give anyone, is don't eat weird food during your teenage years. That's the main thing, because what gets you then kind of sticks with you for the rest of your life. So I gained a lot of weight at that time, and then stress and mental health also started going, like spiraling, going in all different directions, which also caused me to gain more weight. And it was just, I couldn't control myself. And I couldn't control my weight. So even though I went on every single diet in the book, like Atkins, low carb, like the 20-20, like you name it, like I lost count of the diets. And eventually I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you have, like, you're close to diabetes. I can't remember the word, but anyways, you're pre-diabetic. There you go. And after, he said, we're going to check you again in 3 months. So during those 3 months, I focused on eating like whole wheat, like brown rice, whole wheat bread and everything. And then when I went 3 months later, he said my blood sugar level was higher than it was 3 months ago. So it was a little problematic. And then he says, well, basically, in other words, the way I heard it, see, the way the doctor says it in one way, the way I hear it is like, congratulations, you now have diabetes. He didn't say it that way, but that's what was portrayed to me. And I was like, I don't even know if I should celebrate about this. So he gave me like medication, metformin and stuff like that. And that was, well, I guess that was the beginning of my awareness. It was really bad, my situation, because I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel my feet. I would wake up in the morning. I would have to like sit in bed and stretch out a whole bunch. I was ashamed to go to the masjid because people would make fun of me, even though I was the one leading the prayers. Um, I did not want to go to the masjid. I was turned off by going to the masjid, by the way. Um, and it was hard for me to pray, like even lead the prayers. I would be sweating when I would stand up. I remember once I was in Toronto and when Imam started like, so like, I guess he was like a HIF student, like was memorizing somewhere, and then he like to show off how much Quran they know, and he started Maghrib Salah with Alif Lam Mim Sad, and I was like, oh my God, don't do this to me. Like he read about 2.5 pages in one rak'ah. I was gonna sit down in the middle of my prayer, but like that shame, I had a lot of shame because of how big I was and diabetes and my feet. Like, so eventually I started this journey of just like, I need to focus and bring my health back. And I did. The doctor had told me that if I don't lose my weight, then take the medication, it'll help me. But if you don't take the medication, you can probably die within a year. Or because my cholesterol, everything was off the charts. Like I was 100% super, like really crazy. And I remember he said cholesterol, diabetes, amputation of your legs. It was all the everything in the book. Scary.
Yes.
I laugh at it now though.
Subhanallah. And I am so happy that you're talking about this, and mashallah, you have a big smile on your face. And you just said so many things, if you don't mind me unpacking this. You spoke
But
about stress, you spoke about mental health, you talk about environmental factors and how they somehow contributed to you gaining more weight. Is this what we're talking about? Say like emotional eaters, when people are like not doing well mentally? Is that what we're talking about here?
no, it's not really emotional. It's not. It is not emotional eating either.
Okay.
Actually, eating, but it can be eating the wrong things because after, so I'm a holistic nutritionist. So I mean, I studied everything after. I realized that fat calories. I mean, 1 gram of fat is nine calories, and 1 gram of carbs or protein is 4 calories. So the amount of fat that we're eating and the amount of sodium that's in our food, it's causing us to get bloated, and we're racking up our calories without even knowing. And when you're stressed out, yes, someone's gonna eat a donut or someone's gonna eat something. You may not be eating a lot. It may not look like a lot, but the calories add up. That's the
Mm.
first. The second thing is I believe you're somewhat connected to the medical field. So like when it comes to like stress or like basically stress, if a person's constantly stressed out, I realized that that was huge in gaining weight, even though I wasn't eating much, but whatever I was eating, my body was just holding it in.
Mm. All right, and Sheikh, I hope I am not, crossing my boundaries here. But okay, so you said that you were close to about 470. Okay, so now you are at 200,
Around
300,
that was
400. Okay, so what is a person thinking around that time? It's like, okay, so they're already big and they're just racking up more weight. So why are they not doing something about it?
it's well, I can talk for myself, but after talking to a lot of people, it's people are looking for a quick approach to lose weight, and that's never going to work. And the reason I feel like a lot of people don't want to lose weight, or actually they all want to, but then they feel like it's not possible because
Mm.
they've gone on a few diets, maybe like 1 week or 2 week or 3 week or even like a month diet. They lost a little bit, but then you couldn't keep up with it. So to keep up with it, you gained it all back, or you put it all back, and then when you gain it all back, like the body is interesting. When you restrict the body from eating something, the body doesn't like it. Unless you make it into a lifestyle, the body doesn't like it. And then when the body doesn't like it, it kind of goes along with it. But when you start feeding the body back what it was missing, it stores it. So when it stores it, you gain a lot more weight than after coming like going back to eating the way you normally eat. So if you lost 30 pounds, you'll gain 60 when you get back. If you lost 30 pounds again, you'll gain another 60. And the whole cycle keeps on going. When a lot of people have gone on many diets, all kinds of diets. They lose weight and then they gain it back, or they gain more. And then it just keeps on going. This is the first thing. The second thing is they give up hope. Like they've no hope anymore. I was suicidal. I was I didn't want to live anymore because I was like, I can't go to the masjid. I'm like known, Shaykh Uthman, popular, Islamic scholar, but I'm too ashamed to go and pray because if people would come to me all the time, they're like, Shaykh, we just want to give you some humble advice, try this and try that. And it was it's the mental health aspect of it is next level, especially when you're that much. Like if someone's not 450 pounds, like be happy because that takes another toll on you. But what was going through my head was like, yeah, you know what, I'll lose it. And then the whole tomorrow, like, you know what, let's try tomorrow, or inshallah next week. That never comes. That really never comes. And so the tomorrow factor, it's a little bit, you got to start now, and you have to put your mind to it. And I'll be a little bit vulnerable with you. I was so big, I was afraid of what people would think after I die.
Well,
because they had to carry my janazah, right? And a lot of there's so much that goes in my head, so much that goes in everyone who's gained weight, so much that goes in their head that it causes stress and mental health issues, and then it just starts to disintegrate and get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And you feel like you're so deep in it, you can't get out. So you're just happy with where you are.
Wow. I know that in the capacity of a therapist, I meet with people and sometimes, the feelings of guilt, usually we feel guilt towards our behavior, but then we start developing feelings towards ourselves. And these are usually negative feelings, and they usually revolve around issues of shame, which leads to a person feeling depressed, which now increases the level of guilt, which increases the level of shame, which deepens the depression. It just becomes this very, very vicious cycle. All right, so the doctor tells you that, look, there's going to be if you don't do anything about it within a year, we would be saying, Shaykh Uthman, may Allah bless his soul. Right. Was that like the turning moment for you? Like, I need to do something about it?
That was the moment where it struck to me that, whoa, okay, I have diabetes, but I have these pills, these metformin pills, that I can actually take these pills and they'll help me lose weight. So they were like miracle pills. Like I can lose weight. But then as I was driving home, I did the worst thing in the world. I started to Google and drive. And when I started Googling and driving, researching, okay, what are side effects of this pill and side effects of these pills and stuff. And I realized the side effects were way worse than what I had. And it was like a circular problem. So then I started to research, well, how can I reverse diabetes? Well, the main thing was, yeah, I am overweight, but I have diabetes. So my weight wasn't an issue for me anymore. Now it was the diabetes. Wow. So I kind of prioritized it in my head. I'm like, focus on this first because that's going to kill me. That's not going to kill me. So then I focused on my diabetes, and then I started researching how to reverse diabetes. And I found this video online, how to naturally reverse diabetes. It was by this doctor in close to Indianapolis. Her name is Sarah Halberg. She has a TEDx video. It's called How to Reverse Diabetes. And I went and I watched it, and I was like, this is brilliant. So then I started to follow all of the rules on that diet. She called it an eating approach diet. She didn't really call it a diet, right? But she brought some science in there. It was pretty interesting. And I watched it and I said, I'm going to start doing this. And I started doing that. And within like 2 months, I lost like 30 pounds. And I was like, this is so cool. And then it just kept on going. And that's how it started.
That is absolutely brilliant. All right, Sheikhna. So right now, when we speak about getting healthy, so in my mind, somebody's diabetic. This is supposed to be a lifetime issue for people. The way that you just prioritized it, you said that you took care of the diabetes first, and then the weight is not an issue. In my mind, I say I would have done the reverse, take care of the weight and then, just keep popping the pills for the diabetes. So the question is, what does it mean to be healthy? So like what you just said, that is so, like I said, I wouldn't have thought it this way. So as you teach people about health and you're studying holistic medicine now, what does it mean to be healthy and what should I be aspiring for when I say I want to be healthy?
It's a loaded question, because everyone, like out of anyone who has worked with me, and now I'm on sabbatical now, so I'm not taking any clients. But like in the past, I had lots of clients, and everyone, their typical approach to me was, "We're gonna."
I'm sorry, I have to stop you. So you said that you have clients. I'm sorry, in what capacity do you have clients?
As a holistic health coach,
Okay.
because I was licensed in Alberta, in Canada. So they would come to me, and because I'm in holistic health, I would give them a plan that revolved around mental health as well as diet. It's kind of like working together. But like looking like that, but I guess ask me the question again. Ask me the question.
Yeah. So the question is, what does it mean to be healthy? So as me aspiring to be a healthier person right now, I just want to be able to lose 20 pounds. That's like my goal for
Okay.
my health.
There's two approaches here. There's the then approach and there's the now approach. Back then, for me, what does it take to be healthy? For me back then was strictly diet, and it was strictly diet. So if someone comes up to me, a client comes up to me who's very overweight, then I will basically tell them, you need to work on your diet first, nothing else. Someone comes to me who's not that overweight, maybe just needs to lose a few pounds, then I would focus on talking to them about a little bit about like their mental attitude and their lifestyle along with diet, and I kind of work those together. So two different clients to get two different approaches. A very, very heavy, someone 400, 300, 400 pounds, start off with your diet. You got to start with their diet. And someone who's not, maybe like 200 pounds or 250 pounds and want to kind of lose a little bit, I would focus on two different areas. Their mental health, not really mental health. I'm not a mental health person, but just like mental attitude and healthy lifestyle put together with diet.
Got it. So ultimately, what does it mean to be healthy?
It's again, these are heavy questions because I study classical medicine, and when I'm studying medicine from like a classical approach, it makes a lot of sense, which a lot of medical doctors of the past, what they've said, that you are what you eat. And one, like, what it means to be healthy for me is to become in tune with your body. And when, for example, if Monday, I had this habit of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, these 5 days, and Sunday. So Sunday to Friday, I would eat at home. Saturday night would be the one night where I would order food from out. So that would be the one night, once a week, if I ever had to. So all the other days, I would wake up in the morning feeling like, yeah, I'm happy. The day I would eat out, I would wake up in the morning. Sunday morning, I would wake up as if I'm just like a hangover, like my stomach's hurting. I have to drink a lot of water. I just feel bad. And what I noticed was, this is how I used to feel every single day when I was heavy. You're not supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to feel like this. So being healthy starts off with getting in tune with your body, understanding if your body is saying, don't eat this, then don't eat it. If your mind is telling you this is not good, and this is not good, and you have to follow your gut. Your gut is going to be the one telling you what's good and what's bad. No one else is going to tell you. Everyone else can tell you, like your neighbors or your family, your parents, your children, whoever, they can tell you all kinds of stuff, but that's never going to work for you. It's only going to work with what you are and what your body's telling you. Because honestly, it was so hard for me, man. I used to go. You're from Eritrea, right? So like
I
a lot
am.
of, yeah. So your food is amazing. It's so tasty, especially those like rotis and stuff, those parathas and stuff you make. It's so good. And I remember I went to a restaurant with with a bunch of like shayukh, and they ordered after Jummah, and they ordered like lamb and goat and stuff, and they had their spaghetti and all that stuff. And that's the smell of that bread. I was like, I want this. But I was like, no, my body is gonna kill me tomorrow. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. That was only because I was eating a particular way. Or else there was nothing wrong with eating that bread. So it's, you got to become in tune with your body. And if you start feeling, if your gut, like it's if you've gone on a healthy eating streak, you'll feel your body. You'll feel your body telling you don't do it. It's not even spiritual. It's like very tangible. You'll be like, your body, you're gonna start feeling like acid reflux happening, and you haven't even eaten any food. You're like, don't eat that food. That's getting in tune with your body is what's gonna dictate to you healthiness, because being healthy is different from person to person. It's not the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Brilliant. So Shazna, you do holistic medicine, you are a financial planner, but you also happen to have your you have two master's degrees in Islamic studies. Where does religion play a role in any of this,
Oh,
like in the health part?
100%. Religion, um, food, is, when it comes to like holistic medicine, religion plays a major role. When it comes to nutrition and diet, religion plays a major role. Major. It's not even, if we I gave a workshop on, I gave a workshop on nutrition in Phoenix, Arizona a few years back. And I guess the question was, I made a very sarcastic comment. I said, "How can you say that? How can you say cake is haram if you're eating it yourself?" What I was trying to get across was, if someone has diabetes, or someone has some issues where they shouldn't be eating a particular thing, um, it becomes a problem if we're going to eat it. But then who cares? We like it, so we're going to keep eating. It's going to harm our bodies. What I was referring to was, how many fatwas do you see? And everyone knows that when it comes to, I'm when it comes to religious studies, I'm very academic. So this is how I learned. Uh, I asked a bunch of questions to a group of scholars, and I didn't get any reply that was what was making me happy. You have a lot of halal and haram brochures that go around. This is halal, this is haram, this is halal, this is haram, and it's so straightforward, halal and haram. But I haven't seen anyone talking about the debeaking of the chickens. Have you heard of that?
No.
Of the chicken. So what they do is they keep chickens inside. Look it up. Whoever's listening, Google it. Debeaking of chickens, major thing. They put all the chickens inside of a cage. As you know, they cage the chickens, and that's where they get the eggs and stuff like that. And out of stress, the chickens were eating the other chickens, so they cut their beaks off. No one talks about that. Of course, no, it's completely fine. As long as you're getting your omelet in your plate, you're totally cool with that. But we don't care about all the stuff that happens, and it hurts, right? Or the fact that the animals are given like genetically modified foods, etc., like GMO foods and grains, and that's all that they're eating, and we're going to be drinking that milk. But no one talks about, buy the milk from the supermarket. Who cares about what happened behind the scenes? The amount of torture the animals went through. Like these questions, how come there's no muftis or scholars having any sort of fatwas on that? But I said, you know what? If you're eating the cake, you can't call it haram, right? I mean, if that's what's happening, and this is where religion plays a major role. The Prophet ﷺ, if we talk about slaughtering the animal, he used to take care of the animal first. Now you have, like in countries, you have animals being slaughtered in front of each other, and it's not even sunnah, right? And knife doesn't even work. Get another knife. I mean, it's complete torture. And like because we're so away from nature, I feel like it's just compromised our whole lifestyle and health and everything.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm really loving this. And by the way, for all of our viewers, if you have a question for Sheikh Uthman, please do use the live chat box on YouTube. Ask your question there, inshallah, and we will address it. Sheikhna, you mentioned something about shame and suicidality and not wanting to go to the masjid, especially when you needed to lead the prayers, and how the community responded to you, and how the community responds to people who happen to be overweight. Can you comment on that? What did that feel like? And
Well, you know, I was an imam in a masjid. It's triggering to me, and you deal with mental health. It triggers me, like it hurts me, just like ah. But then it's cool because I have some weird defense mechanisms that make me overlook everything. But like I live very north in Edmonton, Alberta. If anyone's here listening from Edmonton, Alberta, you'll know what I'm talking about. You probably even heard about me. So I was one of the imams of one of the bigger masjids here a while back. I walked out. I said, I'm not doing this again. I told my wife, I'm like, never in whatever. I'm never doing this again. So over here during 4 months, let's see here. So May, June, July, August, the redness in the sky doesn't disappear. After the shafaq al-ahmar doesn't disappear, so it's red. The whole night is red. It's a beautiful sight. So basically, what happens is there's no like, because you've studied some fiqh, so you'll understand that there's when the redness doesn't disappear, Isha time doesn't come in, which means Fajr time doesn't come in, which means Maghrib time doesn't end. So. And now when we're talking about Maghrib time, like in Ramadan, we're fasting until about 10:45. Wow. And we're starting our fast at like 2 a.m. That's a really long fast. Like the masjids over here, they thought of a way. What we'll do is everyone come to the masjid. Some masjids will do this. Everyone comes to the masjid for Maghrib, and they pray. They'll pray Maghrib and Isha and Taraweeh, eat sahur, and then go home. So it's like one big meal like that. So when I'm talking about mental health and going to the masjid and stuff and things like this is about like 5 or 6 years, about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember when. I try to forget about it. But anyways, I was like, look, Maghrib is getting too late and it's not normal. There's some fiqhi allowance that we can technically combine Maghrib and Isha together. They were forcing that. No, we pray Maghrib at 10:45, we pray Isha at 12:30. I'm like, even the imam doesn't even want to come to the masjid to pray at 12:30. He's just like, please, we like it. You do it this way. So anyways, we did it for a few months, and then there was a huge, there's everyone, like, I remember from Maghrib and Isha together, there was so many people in the masjid. We had a reason to do this. But what happens is after a few months, they decided to, like a few community members, they were like, no, we want to pray Isha at Isha time. So as time progressed, they had this meeting. And in the meeting, I sat down, they had a group of scholars sit down as well from locally, and they're like, we want to talk about this issue. So I overheard one of them say, why should we listen to that fat imam who doesn't know what he's talking about? And everyone laughed, including like, they kind of said it in a way that I couldn't hear. Everyone like kind of like smirked and laughed. And I got up and I said, you're never seeing me this much shit again. And I walked right out. I never went back there. They call me for Jummahs nowadays. but this is back then. Like I just couldn't do it. And I realized they just had this, like, the fact that I was overweight automatically created this assumption in their head that, okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's lower than us. He's weaker than us. And it was all of the bad that you can associate with someone will be associated because of the fact that I was just a little bit, I was bigger. Wow. So it takes a toll on your mental health, especially when, like, it's like, who do I turn to? I want to turn to Allah because I'm sad and I'm weak and I feel like I want to cry to Allah, but you can't even go to the masjid because everyone's going to judge you. Every single person will. So I found that the masjid was like unfortunately, one of the places where I was judged the most. Compared to the outside world, they're like, be happy with your weight. Yeah, you are who you are, right? I was like, yes, I prefer this. I don't like this. And it was very unfortunate. And it's like, yeah, have sabr and have patience, but after a while, what are you going to do? So
Sheikhna, I am sorry you have to go through that, man. That just sounds like a horrific experience. And would you say that that judgment is based on certain assumptions about why is a person overweight? So, for example, people who are overweight, they're overweight because they lack self-discipline and they lack control and they're just lazy and they don't move.
That's that's true and also not true. The reason it's true if you're not controlling yourself and you know you need to. It's not true because, but 200 years ago was when processed foods came into the picture. Then that became the normal eating. And when that became the norm, and especially when like it became a lifestyle to eat this way, not everyone's metabolism is as good as everyone else, right? Everyone is different. And when everyone is different, what I found was, and then everyone's stress levels are different. Every single person is completely different. And when everyone is completely different, what a person eats, a person can, fork out a whole pizza and go and play ball. Another person's gonna eat one slice and be like, oh my God, I can't move. Everyone is different. So it has to do with genetics, number one. It has to do with so it can be laziness if a person doesn't care and they're not eating good, but there's so many more factors that are involved in this, and stress can be a major factor in weight gain as well as weight loss, but it can be a major factor in weight gain if you happen to be that side of the spectrum.
Okay. What would be a better approach? Let's say that as an imam, as a community member, I am noticing that my students at school, community members are coming in and they are visibly looking like they are gaining weight. They've gained a lot of weight. What am I, do I have any obligation? Is this any of my business? Should I mention it? I mean, what would be a better approach to this?
It's not anyone's business to talk about it unless you're a friend. Unless you're a friend and you're really close to that person, like, yo man, like let's lose weight together, something like that. But no, anytime you tell a person who's gained weight to lose weight, you've triggered him. No matter what it is. If a person's 300, 250 pounds, 300, 400 pounds, they know they need to lose weight. You're basically just putting salt on the wound. They know they need to. You probably just saw them once and you're gonna give them your opinion, but they've been looking up and researching every single day on this. If anything, they've lost hope because of how much they've researched. So it's what if you want to trigger a person, by all means. If you want to push them, kick them out of the masjid, by all means, do it. But they're not going to show up again. You trigger someone, they're not going to go back to that environment because they don't want to be there, because it's hostile now.
God. I hope my wife is listening to this, please. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that unless I am a friend, it should not be my business, and I don't need to point that out to that individual.
I'm not even talking about this from a religious point of view. I'm talking from a very human point of view. Like for myself and anyone that I know, if you tell someone, like honestly, if someone, like, you don't look like you have any weight, like mashallah, you look good. But anyone who's listening, if someone tells them, like it requires a certain amount of strength on a person to be able to be like, yeah, you know what, I feel like I should lose weight. Yeah, you know what, I really feel this way. Because people that have been heavy, they've gone through stigma. They've already they feel the picture in the world as being a particular figure is considered good and strong. When you're not that figure, you're automatically society and pictures are basically telling you that you're lower. So that by someone telling you that, automatically you're gonna keep lowering yourself, and it's gonna destroy a person. It's gonna destroy a person. I didn't my stress was external to me. I didn't cause it on myself. It was caused by everything external. The people saying this, people saying that. It was, or people commenting like this. Someone coming up to me after and saying, "You should try to eat this. Maybe try to eat that, or try this, or try that." Or when you go to like iftar party, someone's like, "Oh, have some of this. Why don't you have some salad?" And like, you don't think we know that? Like honestly, if we put a little bit extra food in our plate, we're hungry, it's Ramadan or whatever, put a little bit extra food in our plate, that everyone starts staring at us like, oh, look at how much this person's going to eat. And think about it, ask yourself a question, not yourself, but like the viewers, ask yourself a question. If you know someone who's heavy, really heavy, like 500 pounds heavy, and goes and grabs a plate of food, you're going to look into the plate of food and look at that person. That's judgment. That's what I'm trying to say. And that like, learn to mind your own business. The person knows.
So check this out. You are an imam, you are educated, you've memorized the Quran, yet you felt that shame, and you would think that, you know what, with all these credentials, you know what, your confidence should have just been way up there, and what people say should not have impacted you. And I don't mean to sound sexist here, but I'm just thinking of my sister who has gained weight either because of, you know what, age-related issues, hormonal issues. She just gave birth, and she is visibly, you know what, heavier than what she used to be. And if it had such an impact on you as a man, I'm just thinking, like, how does this impact our, you know, our sisters? You talk about the societal pressure on people, that there is a certain figure that you must live up to. I'm just looking into this and saying, how bad, if we men are thinking that this is really bad, how bad is it for the women out there?
Well, I'm sure it's really bad. Like, because for men, this pressure comes internally from among one another. It's a lot less with the billboards and the movies, right? But then with women, it's all about the billboards and the movies and what's being promoted out in public, that women need to be a particular figure. And now in the 21st century, it's kind of changing now, where it's like, okay, everyone be happy with your weight, and yeah, like there's a shift happening, but that shift is also teeny bit problematic. And I'll say that as a person who has been like very big, that if you are gaining weight, don't be happy about it. Don't be happy about it. I'm not promoting, saying, yeah, it's happy because I lost all of the weight, but you don't be happy about it because it's not healthy. It isn't healthy. And I would recommend everyone to go and get a DEXA scan, and let the person show you how much body fat you have and how much lean muscle you have, so that you can understand what percentage of your body is actually this and that. No one's going to judge you over there. You just do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. Don't give anyone an excuse to say anything. And we can't control people, what they're going to say, but it's there. But I bet for women, it's probably a lot worse. I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm sure the woman can comment, but I'm sure it's a lot worse than what I went through.
And I can tell you that, you know, in the capacity of a clinician, you're talking about 1 out of every 4 girls has gone through some kind of an eating disorder, because she was told that she needed to meet certain specifications, or as far as her body is concerned. So the pressure there is just absolutely magnificent on the women. All right, Shannon, so what kept you going? So you said that you followed the advice of this doctor, reversing diabetes. You lost 30 pounds, and you were really happy about that. Did it snowball afterwards, or what was the motivation then?
Well, I am. Anytime I wanted to apply for any sort of insurance or anything, they used to have to check my weight and everything, and then they used to give me the highest premiums because of how big I was. And it was just, everything was messed up. So when you start noticing that you're losing weight, you get happy, and when you get happy, you tend to want to continue. It's like motivation. And I used to motivate myself a lot. My surroundings, people around me, they didn't need to lose weight, so they weren't eating the way I was eating. I was very particular and strict. But it was hard for me. Many nights I would sit there like, I want this, but after a while I just got used to it. Kind of, let's keep going. I used to ask myself a question: when am I going to stop? Well, I'll stop when I'm going to lose all my weight. And I used to give myself like little. This is just all internally in my head, like little like milestones. Like, okay, after 30 more pounds, I'm gonna eat a donut or something. Like, I used to give myself like random like milestones, and it was just all between me and myself in my own head. I didn't have any documentation, nothing written down. Um, I said, I'm just going to keep on doing this until I become a normal weight. The question that I asked a lot of, a lot of doctors and nurses and nutritionists and trainers, one question I asked was, do I look normal? And they're like, what do you mean? Everyone looks normal. I'm like, don't tell me what you need to tell me. Don't tell me what you're trained to tell me. Don't be my cheerleader. I don't want a cheerleader because I lost 100 pounds. I want you to know, do I look normal? Is my body proportionate or not? They're like, yeah, it is. I never got a right answer. So then I used to start to compare myself. I used to go online and look up pictures of normal people. What does it mean to look normal? Like it was all happening. And I was Google it. I'll be like, okay, now I take a full figure picture of a person. I put my picture next to them. I'll be like, okay, I just have to go a little bit more. It requires a lot of strength and work, but when you start doing it, you eventually get to it. Until one day, until one day I needed to get my blood work done, and the doctor said, this was June 2000 and God, what was it? 16, I think. Yeah, 2016 or 18. I remember it was 2-year gap. And he says, you have to get your blood work done. And I said, okay, are you checking for my diabetes? Because I'm embarrassed about it. And he said, well, checking for everything. And I was like, oh my God. And he went and he checked, and my A1C from like 12 point something went down to like 5.2, which is basically, he said, you're not diabetic anymore. So he's like, come back in one day and I want you to eat some sugar, like eat like a brownie. And I was like, I don't eat that stuff. Astaghfirullah. He's like, no, eat like a big brownie with like ice cream on top and come back and we'll do the blood work again. And this is less than 24-hour blood work they did again, which normally got to fast, and I didn't fast. And he's like, just eat it and then just fast for 8 hours. Anyway, so I ate a nice brownie with nice ice cream on top. I had to hold back. I was like, this is my turn. My doctor told me I can't, he's not gonna be wrong. And then the next day I went and got the blood work done and my blood sugar was down. And he's like, you reversed your diabetes. It's like, no one reverses diabetes. You reversed it. And I was like, yeah. I celebrated I was like so happy. And then I went to the masjid and I gave 5 khutbahs on eating healthy.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Nice, lovely. All right, Sheikh, you said something there. You said that you were motivating yourself and you did not need motivation from those who are around you.
Well, it would have been fun to have someone else around me. I didn't have that option, which a lot of people don't, because I didn't have that option at all. Like I remember like doing Ramadans and Eids and stuff. People were like, just have a little bit, just have some of this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, oh, you're dieting? I'm like, no, I'm full. Like you had to motivate yourself. There was no other person there that could. It's not like I wasn't looking. I would have been happy if like, Shaykh Yasir, you and I, let's do it together, right? But there was no one there that would have done it with me. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll motivate myself. It was tough to do that because no one else is, we can keep each other accountable. But if that wasn't there, then fine, I'll do it at my own pace. But then I did realize one thing, that I was so disciplined. I'm like boasting now. I was so disciplined about the situation that I don't think anyone would have been able to keep up with me. Like if I had a partner, I would have been like gone way past them. That's how hard I was on myself. I was like disciplined.
And where did that come from? Because I think this is like the biggest thing that we struggle with. I keep telling people, I said, look, those who are around us, they can only encourage us, but motivation has to come from within. Motivation keeps you going, but it's self-discipline that will keep you growing. And so you get to memorize these pointers and these quotes, but the reality of it is, where did that come from? Where did that discipline come from for you?
The point that you fail is the first time you get struck with a test. If you fail that test, you're going to fail. In other words, when I used to feel like I was craving eating like rice or bread or something, like that chapati that was at that restaurant, I was craving it. All I did was ordered a salad and I started eating it and filled myself up so that I wouldn't crave it. And you just have to look for excuses. It's like, okay, you have a choice of eating this versus that. So now you're getting a craving. You're like, you got to kill that craving. The first time you get that craving, you have to kill it. It's an exercise, and you just got to work at it. So if you're driving somewhere and you see like a Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme, or in Canada Tim Hortons, just drive by it. That's your first test. You drove by it, you'll be happy. Thank you for not doing it. If you fail the first time, then you're going to keep on failing. The second you don't, if you don't fail, if you go ahead and do it, and you cross that first test, then the second test becomes easier. The first test is the hardest. Isn't there like a hadith about that, right? Like we're going patient. Exactly. Yeah. First time you get stricken with it, you just got to get through it, and that would set you up, because that's the discipline. Go and eat something else. Go and eat an alternative. Doesn't matter. Go eat a fruit. It's sweet also. Or go eat something else that as an alternative. But pass that first test. That first test is the hardest, and that's where everyone fails. And that shaitan's gonna come at you hard, like through people. It's gonna go at you hard, but it's gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be in your head, like, yeah, eat this, or do this, or it's just gonna be people around you, like, yeah, let's try this, have one. You just gotta be really strict, like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And I stopped going to parties and this and that because of this. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this because I'm gonna be forced to eat. I'm not. Sorry, not gonna happen. I became boring after. You don't hang out anymore.
I love it. Gentlemen, we have a question for you from one of our viewers. They're saying, Salam, did you incorporate any exercise regimen with dieting, or just dieting?
For the first 2 years, there was no exercise at all. No walking, nothing. It was just dieting. If I did exercise, my body would hurt. So it's like, I can't do this no more. For the first 2 years, I did no exercise at all, just strictly food and calories. After 2 years, I started to exercise. I was actually going to get laser eye surgery done, and then I had $4,000 in my hands. And on my way to get laser eye surgery, I ended up stopping at a gym. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And I did obviously typical Google driving, is laser eye surgery healthy, and all this kind of stuff. And I realized, oh my God, when you get older, you might not be able to see. Fine, here's my money, take it to the gym. And I gave them all my money. And then I went in, I joined the gym. But after I joined the gym, my weight loss went down for a bit, and then it just stalled. And that was depressing. I wasn't losing any weight at all. It was stalled. And I was like 270 pounds and I'm stalled. What's going on? I'm working out harder, and I start gaining weight, 275 and 280, and 295, 300. I'm like, no, this is wrong. And then, so yeah, after when I started to work out, then I needed to consult a nutritionist, and they said, well, you see, your eating pattern is not really good for working out, especially with high weights that you're doing. So you need to change your change your eating pattern. I'm like, but I can't, diabetes. They're like, no, you don't have diabetes. Remember, you got your blood checked. I was just so happy about it. So then what happened is I switched my eating pattern to include other foods that would help me out in my workout. And then my weight just went straight down.
Nice. And is this what you tell your clients, that they need to work on their diet first and then the exercise comes later on, or?
It depends on who the person is, though. So everyone is different. So again, remember I said before, if it was a heavy person, I would tell them, just, do I need to go to the work out? No. Why shouldn't you go work out? Everyone says working out will help me out. No, don't go work out. Just eat healthy. I give them like a eating plan. Eat according to this, and after every 2 weeks, keep up with me, and then after about a year, we'll see what happens. Right after that, you can go work out, because if someone's really that big and heavy, if they're going to go work out, their body is going to hurt, their knees are going to hurt, their back is going to hurt. They're not going to want to do it again, and then that can cause you to. When you work out, when you're building muscle or working out, your body is craving carbohydrates. It's craving sugar. So what you're going to do is that the cravings that you had driving by that donut store, it's going to be a lot stronger. And then you'll justify it. Well, I worked out, so I burnt that many calories. So I can technically maybe just eat, a little bit. And then you failed that first test. So I always say, let it go for a bit. And if you want to start working out, let me know. So another advice that I would give is, don't go online and find a nutrition plan. That's the worst thing you can do, because every single person, their situation is different.
That
And
was just my plan right now. As soon as this is over, I was going to go online and figure out a dieting plan for myself.
never go online, because online will give you generic advice. It's like going like WebMD and asking why you have like shoulder, why you have like arm pain or whatever, like shoulder, and then you just find out you have cancer and you're just depressed for the rest of your life, right? So it's like there's no point doing that. Go when you as practitioners and as holistic coaches or practitioners, we're trained to ask you 100 questions before we give you a plan. When we ask 100 questions can get very invasive, like what color is your poop, or like how much microwave TV are you using, or how much water are you drinking? Like, are you taking alcohol? Are you taking any sort of drugs? And as a practitioner, as you know, you're a practitioner as well. Like the person needs to be completely open with you, because they need to tell you about what's going in, what's happening with your body. And so all of those things, based on all of that, then we come up with a plan accordingly. Like, okay, you need to start taking these many multivitamins, you need to start taking this, start taking some probiotics, start taking some omega-3, stop eating this food. Like, it's a whole plan that we basically create accordingly. So my advice, talk to like a health coach or a nutritionist, and they'll create a plan for you. They'll kill you with about 200 questions, but yeah.
It is worth the investment. I think we want that quick fix, and we want to, just go on some extreme diet and give up carb and sugar and hopefully see the result in a few days.
That's a good point. Like, let me just clarify on that. If it took you 15 years to put on the weight, it's going to take you 15 years to take it off.
Oh, come on, Jay, you're just crushing my dreams here. Come on.
Sorry, man. I'm just kidding. Fine, but it won't take you 1 year to take it off, though, because that's too quick. If there was a progression over a long time, then you're going to have to expect more than a month to lose it. People go on diets for 20 days to a month, and they expect to lose all of their weight. That's not going to happen.
It's like the building. It took 5 years to build the building, but you were able to tear it down in like few minutes. Exactly. So that's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping would happen to us. Jenna, we have a question here from.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's depressing when we think about it. Like, oh man, I want to lose weight that fast, but it's going to come slow. And ask anyone who's lost weight. Ask anyone; they'll tell you the same thing. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. If everyone who's lost weight is saying it's going to take time, and someone who's lost a few pounds says, no, you can do it in a month, don't listen to them, because it's like a non-hafiz giving advice to a hafiz of how to review the Quran. Like, okay, just relax. Good for you.
A question here from one of our viewers is saying, how will you help your friend to lose weight? They know they have issues of weight and you really want to help them. It could be a friend, it could be a loved one, a family member, a wife, a husband. How do you even bring that up without offending them or?
Well, you see, that's your expertise. That's not mine. like for me, I know what impact it did on me when people talk to me about it. So if someone is, I like to help people out in ways that have nothing to do with their weight. So if I see someone, for example, if I see someone struggling to get somewhere, and then when I stand up, if I'm wearing like a t-shirt, you can see, like, I have a lot of loose skin. So I have like, you can see the loose skin. It's like, it's a trophy that I carry on me. So, so like, if I see someone, you have to build their trust, and they need to know about you, that you've lost weight. Again, if you haven't lost weight, you cannot give advice to someone who's overweight. You can tell them, but you don't know what they're going through. So like, the best thing would be, I don't know what to say at this point. Like if there was someone, if I was physically somewhere, I would help the person out, build that person's trust for them to be able to open up and talk to me. And then they're going to talk to me about my expertise. And I lost a lot of weight. So they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I need to lose some weight. Can you give me some help on it? Like that's all I could. I can't. I don't even know what more to say because I would be completely. You guys may disagree with me. The viewers may completely disagree with me, but I would be like, no, no, no. Do not tell someone. Do not give advice to someone who's overweight about losing weight.
Yeah. So Shaykhna, just to piggyback of that one, what I tell people is if you have a loved one that has mental health issues, again, you do the same thing. Come from a place of genuine interest in their well-being, and then eventually we would want you to be the liaison between them and the professionals, because you may not be in a place to give a professional advice. Shaykhna, we're running out of time, but here comes a really, really good question. What should you be looking for when you are researching for a holistic nutritionist or a nutritionist?
Just that is a good question. What I if I was looking for a nutritionist, and I still do, I am a nutritionist. I'm a holistic practitioner, but for myself, I have a coach myself right now, and what I look for is credentials, and I have a habit of interviewing the person who I'm going to work with. That causes them anxiety. So I'm like, I would like to work with you. So I have a few questions for you. Because I'm going to be paying you money, so I'm technically hiring you to work for me. That's kind of what it is, and I'm not even shy about it. I will go online and I will look for a nutritionist in my area. So what I would do is I'll look for a nutritionist. If you want to, nowadays everything's online, so you can find like nutritionists all over. Just find anyone, and then find them. And then when you look online, then you look up their credentials, read up their history, read up their background, because you want to work with them. You're going to be working with them. Make sure they have some meaning to you. Make sure they're able to connect with you in any way, shape, or form. And then after that, have a conversation. See if you're compatible with them based on conversation. Oh, and one last thing: make sure you're not a number. That's huge, because a lot of clients become numbers. When it comes to weight loss, I dropped a lot of coaches because I felt like I was becoming a number. Like, okay, so he's basically just this number. Okay, he's number 300 because I have 300 pounds now. Oh, he's number this, he's number that. Make sure you're not a number. You have you have to be it has to be personal to you. They have to be personal to you. You have to be personal. You have to connect and be compatible. It's like a weird marriage. Like it has to be completely compatible, because you're putting your life in their hands now. You're making them like fix you up. What I would do, I would go online and I would look for the best nutritionist, or if I have some connections, I would ask them, and then I would research about them. I would call them and I would talk to them. I would book a 1-hour appointment or even half an hour, tell them about my situation, see what they're hearing, take some time. They're going to clearly sell to you. It's not for you to buy it. You go back, think about it, make a istikhara or whatever, think about it. And after that, make a decision which one you like, interview multiple people, and then come to a conclusion as who you feel is going to fit for you.
Beautiful. Shaykhna, this has been a beautiful conversation, and I cannot believe the hour just went by so unbelievably quickly, mashallah. Shaykhna, you inspire. I think your story is a beautiful story. I was really so curious to ask about so many details. How long did it take you to lose that many pounds, and what inspired you to go back into studying holistic medicine? But I think we are going to make you like we do with all of our, guests that we enjoyed their company. We make them publicly promise that they will be back again, inshallah, next time.
That's cool. I mean, I live in Edmonton and Zoom, right? So that's good.
Right.
YouTube and Zoom, so we're good. I'll be back.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, you heard it, people. He will be back, inshallah. And for, on behalf of all of our viewers, we want to say Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And for all the people who have given us that hour of their evening, we want to say Jazakallah khair and thank you for watching. And inshallah, we are going to see you next time. And I know people are just going to ask me, was he drinking soda? Is that cool? Was he drinking soda?
It's 0-calorie citrus twist. It's just basically 0-calorie water with the lemon.
I am glad that you asked. All right. So once again, we thank you, Shaykhna. Thank all the viewers. And until we see you next time, we say so long and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.